Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, everybody. It's International Angel Day. Not an exciting day for us. We're going to talk a little bit about angels today. Hello, Lee. Good evening.
And good evening to you, Michael.
We have had an absolute wild week. I know I have, and I know you have as well.
It has been very interesting.
How about you all out there listening? The energies have just been pretty amazing this past week. We went actually to go and record our first video at the community television, and boy, was that a surprise experience. We had several instances this week of where I thought I was going to be doing something, and all of a sudden it completely shifted. And the community television experience was one of those where we went to record the show, and actually the dates got mixed up there on their schedule, and it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, as to me they always are when things like that happen. There's always some blessing behind it. Where we got to go into the studio and really got to play a little bit more and got a little bit more clarity on what our purpose was with being there. So it was really a powerful thing, actually. But when you have several of those things one after the next, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So I would venture to guess that some of you last week had some very interesting things happen in your life.
The interesting thing about me going over to the community TV is I worked about 2 hours on getting myself all dolled up.
Dolled up? You were all dolled up.
I was all dolled up. I was all just ready to go. And I walk in, and this gentleman looks at me, and he says, well, guess what? Your time was Tuesday, not Thursday. And I looked at him, and I said, you got to be kidding me. I have spent 2 hours getting myself ready to be on TV, and I'm not even going on today.
Oh, now seriously, Lee, you never spent 2 hours
It was close to. Let me tell you, Michael, it was close to. It was close to that.
Oh, God.
Including getting my hair cut and all that. I have to put all that in there. But
normally you're saying how quick you are.
I'm very quick. I can be
less.
10 minutes less. That's it. I can get ready 10 minutes less. And it ended up that we went into the studio, and it was very interesting trying to get ourselves situated, even how to sit, because the audience out there that's listening to us now, we sit across from each other, and our cues is strictly through eye contact. We have no idea what we're going to talk about before we get on here. We just go at it. And we just look at each other's eyes, and so we can kind of cue each other that way. And so we get up there, and we're looking at this camera. And if that was the most awkward thing I've ever done is to know that I've got Michael on the side of me, and there's no way I can look at his eyes, and he can't look at mine. And we sit in there, about an hour and a half trying to get ourselves adjusted.
Moving the tables around.
Just moving the tables around and getting everything in order to where the focus would be correct on the TV. I've done some TV before, but strictly by myself. And it was very interesting. I said, I don't believe I can do this without looking at your eyes, Michael. It was very difficult to go there like that.
Well, we changed everything because we were going to do live shows, and then we decided that really the best scenario was to use the bigger studio with multiple cameras, and we're going to get us a helper, and then there'll be more shots available.
Right. We decided that one camera was not enough for the two of us. We actually need 3. So we just completely switched it around, and next time we will have 3 different ones. That also entails us to where we can kind of bring a little audience in when we want to, as far as, the studio is pretty good size. So we kind of thought about bringing a few people in to listen to some of the classes, be able to have some type of feedback and also questions at that time where we can answer and just kind of bring the whole thing in as one,
I think we may be doing that. May be trying something new down there.
I think that's right.
But how fun is that?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. whatever we do is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are just really going with the flow, taking one step at a time and seeing how things just naturally unfold with this process, because we definitely want to be doing some moving into the video realm of things, but it's one of those things you can't push it. It has to feel right. It has to work out, just as we talk about and have talked about many times with life in general. We're just letting this be a testament to what we talk about, and we're going to share with you all the process of it. We just go with the flow.
That's right, and the telephone has been ordered, and so we will be able to have call-ins.
Oh, you did order the telephone?
Yes, I did. So,
well, now we got to get the box.
Yes, we're going to do all of this. So we're just piecing it together one thing at a time, and we're going to really be rocking and rolling here within the next month.
Oh
yeah.
Well, it is International Angel Day. It's Sunday, September 9th. This was a day that I believe Doreen Virtue had this vision of how to help the world bring more peace in, and she had this vision about celebrating the angels on this day. And I think it's been going on for a few years now. I've over in the past taught workshops on this day, connecting with your angels workshops in Knoxville, and there are also workshops going on around the world, or did go on at some point during the day, all around the world. So it's kind of cool to think that we're going to be talking a little bit about angels today. Could be a lot. We don't know until we get started with it.
No, we do not know until we get started. We got 10 minutes till 12. I'd like to say that we're here at midnight doing this, and we was going to try to start at 2:30 this afternoon.
And your voice is already getting gravelly, so
you
must be wanting to say something.
I'm going to let it hold for a few minutes. I feel an archangel coming in, but I'm going to hold it a few minutes. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, this is an exciting topic. I love talking about the angels, and we've talked a little bit, here and there throughout our show about the angels, but I don't think we've ever really gone into much depth with it. And so it'd be kind of fun tonight just talk about our experiences and how to tap into them. For me, my journey really started with going to Doreen Virtue's workshop, and actually before that I started reading some of her books, which really opened me up almost immediately to the connection. And I started getting them in dreams and coming to me in meditation and all kinds of things. Then I went to her class, and it just really helped me connect and understand more about myself and how the angels work. But angel just simply means messenger from God. And there are so many different ways the angels touch our lives. But it is so important to ask. They're not going to interfere with our free will. And there are all kinds of different levels of angels that are working on the other side. There's guardian angels and the archangels. Those are the primary ones, at least, that I know you and I work with.
Right.
But there are so many other levels and realms of angels as well. But those two in particular are very close to us in this earth plane, that assist on that level. And also, and as I'm sure many of you who have listened to our show noticed, that Archangel Michael and Raphael and a few others really are very present with us in this show. And they are very present now at this time on the planet, and this change here in 2012, the very just foundational level changes that are happening in our lives with the planet, the energies. They're very much wanting to be a part of everyone's life, because they can help in every way to get us on track to letting go of the old and bringing in the new. And so why not ask the angels for help? I don't think there's any reason why not to put that intention out there. If you have, an intention within you to grow, to do the best that you can in this life, to just plain ask for help. We all need it from time to time. You know, the angels are pure love and light. They have no ego whatsoever. And to me, I always like to think of the angels as like a rainbow spectrum of God's light. They're totally love and light. And they bring individual kind of experiences and energies from divine masculine to divine feminine and everything in between to help nurture us and give us a little boost or tap us more into, you know, that part of ourself that we've not been paying attention to. And what a fabulous thing to work with.
I agree with that 100%, Michael.
So what's the first thing, Lee, that you would do if you wanted to talk to an angel?
I just open my mouth and I talk.
It's pretty much that simple,
pretty
isn't
much
it?
that simple. I will say that, you know, I've talked about this before on the show, but I have that angel number book. And whenever the angels get used to, when you wake up in the mornings, that you actually are looking at the book to see what the message is, it comes in pretty frequently every night. So, for example, if I woke up at 4:44 this morning, and at 4:44 this morning, then I looked at the book to see what that message was. Then I came into the kitchen, and I happened to look at a microwave, and it said 4:41. And I looked at the stove, and it said 4:44. It was very interesting. Then I got in the car to drive to Knoxville, and the clock in the car said 4:44. Now, I know that I was up a number of minutes getting all this stuff done, and I was still seeing the number 4:44. And so the first thing I did was get in the book. I read what it meant about it, and then it was like I looked at the clocks, and they readjusted themselves. So, you know, the funny part about this was that when I saw the 4:44 on my clock beside the bed, I did not. The book was sitting there, but I thought, I want to get me a cup of coffee. And then I'm going to come back and I'll see what it says. Because I've read that 4:44 several times. But I like to read it word by word what it means. And so then I come to the kitchen and I'm looking at 4:44. And I know it took me about 3 minutes to get to the kitchen to get the coffee going. And it still it was there. And then I go back and I read about it. And then it's another 15 minutes and I'm getting in the car going to Knoxville that early in the morning, and it had 4:44 on my radio. So it was giving me that 3 different times, even though it wasn't exactly 4:44, except when I woke up. So I thought that was a very interesting that they really wanted me to get that message today of really what that meant. And I just kept going around it and not looking at the book, and so they was going to make sure that you need to read this that's in this book.
And 4:44 for any of you all.
Yes.
I'm sure there's many of you that are listening at some point and have seen turn your head, looked at the clock, and seen 4:44, and possibly repetitive times. That's just a number that means that there are all kinds of angels, or the angels are really helping you in your life right now. They want to acknowledge themselves so that you know that they're around. And since you brought up all the angel numbers, because I love working with the numbers. Right. I think you and I both like that.
I'm very much into that.
I'm drawn to it in just about every way imaginable, the numbers. But I'll just quickly go through the numbers and what's very, very brief and simple. There is a book that Doreen Virtue wrote. There's probably more books. There's all kinds of books out there. You could probably even do an internet search for angel numbers. There's an iPhone app for angel numbers. But the number 1 is about your thoughts and manifestation. Number 2 is about keeping the faith. Number 3 is ascended masters are working with you. Number 4 is the angels are working with you. Number 5 is some change is going on in your life, positive change. 6 is about material supply and related to, you know, kind of material things in your life typically. 7 is you're on the right path. 8 is abundance. And 9 is life purpose. And again, those are very general.
Right.
But like, for example, if you were to repetitively wake up at 4:47, that would typically mean 4 is about the angels, 7 means you're on the right path. So it would mean typically that the angels are wanting to acknowledge that you're totally making the right choices, you're on the right path.
Right.
You know, same if you were to get 4, 4, 8, the angels would be, reminding you of being blessed with abundance or something like that. You can use those numbers very simply. They're not complicated. But it just so happens that the book we were talking about has a whole from 0 all the way, or 1 all the way through 999
right.
of numbers where somebody went through and tuned in and asked the angels for kind of a little paragraph of information. Mm-hmm. And so it gives a little bit more detail. It's very handy for a quick review. But
true.
The thought that just came into me is, I think it's always important to help people understand how the angels work in our lives and how they show up, because there's so many different ways. You know, here we were just talking about the numbers.
Right.
They could show up as a feeling. You may feel a one over your shoulder or behind you. Archangel Michael, for example, typically I always feel him standing behind me, around my neck, and it's very hot. Your guardian angels may feel a little bit different. They tend to be on one side, I've noticed, kind of sit on one side or the other. You may get repetitive thoughts that are telling you, giving you a message. You may see a vision. You may see something in your life over and over again, and just by looking at it and it stands out to you. The angels are putting that out as that to help you notice. It can be very subtle the way that they interact with you, because spirit tends to be subtle. It's the energy side of things, and so you just have to pay attention and look for repetitive. I was just telling someone this earlier. If it's a message from the divine or the angels or anything, they're never going to give it to you just once. Unless if you hear it and receive it perfectly on the first thing.
Right.
It's always going to come in repetitions. So I've done this myself. There's times in my life where I really could do it more when I'm not paying attention. But writing repetitive thoughts down is a really good way to kind of find the common threads, even if you get repetitive thoughts. Putting them down in a book or a journal is a great thing to do.
Well, all week I've mentioned this to you several times, and I had written it before we got on the air tonight, was that I've been getting this message, power of thought. And even to the point that the topic on the TV show was going to be power of thought before we was unable to do it. But that goes right along with the angels as far as the thought pattern and listening to them and really, paying attention to what's around you. I know that most of my numbers are in the 3s, and I know Ascended Masters is definitely work with me a lot. And so the 3s is where a lot of my point is as far as listening to that. Power of thought is so important for everybody, to keep a positive mind and to keep a positive outlook in life, and to always know that the angels want you to always be in the best place that you can be, and they will guide you to totally be there at all times. You can always rely on that to happen. And we were just talking with somebody a few minutes ago, and it was a newcomer into talking about angels. I think it's very important that's one of the major things that we talk about first, is who is around you and paying attention to it. It's just like when you were just talking just a few minutes ago about the different numbers. The light flashed right here over the table where we were at, because that was a sign saying, hey, we're here, and I'm glad that you talked about that. It's a very, angels can communicate to you at all times. And in different ways, and it's paying close attention to what's around you and the thought patterns that you have, because sometimes it can just be a thought, but if you don't get it the first time, normally the thought will come back in again. That is definitely the angels talking to you about whatever they want you to pay attention to.
Oh yeah.
today's been a pretty incredible day for Michael and myself.
Hey, I wanted to say one more thing that
go
keeps
ahead.
popping in my head, and it's that the angels will never, ever judge anything about you.
Never.
Not your thoughts, not any of it, because they're total love, and they understand the bigger picture, and they just want to help you feel that love and bring it into your life.
And they also understand that where we live is a totally different environment. It can get somewhat on a low vibrational type level. So they're always looking, also toward that situation as well. But, one of the first things that I do in the morning is I just thank them for being around me and around my family and around, every place that they need to be. Because I think it's a very important tool to have as angels, as far as being able to help our mindset of staying in a positive manner. And it's always a nice thought to know that you have always someone with you. Our spirit guides are always with us, but also to have an angel with us as well. And we're going to always have one, too. Raphael's the one that normally I work with as far as the channeling. You work a lot with Michael. But we still have any angel that we need to have come in for whatever purpose that we need at that time. They're readily going to come in and guide us to where we need to be.
And I have an idea. Why don't we put the intention out right now for anyone that's listening or listens to the show at any point to take a moment right now, and we want to put that intention out with you for the angels to come, your guardian angels, an archangel, whoever's meant and is working most closely with you right now, to make itself known in your life. We ask for that as well, and we ask for you to put that intention out with us right now, that the angels step into your life and make themselves known right now. In this coming day and week and weeks and month, to help and give you signs and symbols in different ways where you can recognize their presence.
And open yourself up to the energy of receiving it.
There you go.
Because you always have, that is your thing that you always have, is to open yourself up to just receive it.
That's the free will part.
That's the free will.
Because they never interfere with our free will.
No. So always remember that and just go for it.
Fantastic. So it is.
And so it is.
Well, speaking of the power of thought, one of the archangels that is very much works with us and beautifying our thoughts is Archangel Jophiel. She's also really, she's a feminine energy that also works to beautify your home. If you need to clean, organize, feng shui, you can ask the Archangel Jophiel to come into your house, come in with you and help you organize and get it set up to be beautiful.
I like her a lot.
She's your twin.
She's my twin. Because I'm always doing something around here, that's for sure. Moving this, moving that, changing this, changing that. And I totally get the thought pattern a lot of times. Today's the day to move this chair from one wall to the next, because I am notoriously moving furniture and things for energy movement. And I've talked about this previously, but it's very important to keep your home kind of rotating around as far as moving different pieces. If it's just one or two pieces, it's okay. But at least change the energy in that room. Every week Michael comes in, he's looking to say, well, where do I sit this week, Lee? It could be if the chair was on the right side of the room instead of the left. But I think it's important to do that. And the angels will also help you to keep your space clear. And this is the year for completion. And I will say again that this is also the year for cleansing. And taking out everything out of your home or cars or storage buildings or attics that's not serving you anymore. Just take them and donate them. Give them to someone else. It can be a treasure to them. But if you don't need it anymore, it's time to clear it out.
Get it gone.
Get it gone.
Make room for the new.
And it's amazing how you feel when you do that. I know a lot of people have a real hard time to begin the process, but after they once get in that process, how free that they feel when they're finished with it.
Well, you know what's interesting? This last week, when I was at work, the accountant, our CPA, came in, and we were talking about, I don't know, it came up. She started talking about taxes and how this analogy, I guess, really resonated with me with the power of thought idea. She was saying, so I get so many people that wait until the very last minute to do taxes, and they are so incredibly stressed out about it, and they build it up to be this horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And how many times, I mean, I used to do that as well. I would, but I don't do that. I haven't done it for years because I'm not willing to do that to myself anymore.
Right.
It's a horrible thing to do, and I watch other family members do it, and they wait to the very last minute, and it just becomes torturous, and then all the stress builds up. But that's just a little fleeting example of how we can, as humans, do that in all kinds of different areas. And it's so important this year, as Lee, as what you're talking about, to really find closure with those stuff and find freedom in the same way.
Right.
It's just amazing how by taking your power back over whatever it is, it's not that taxes are difficult if you get the right help that you need, or whatever it is. Maybe you've not organized yourself, but if you just take some time to do it. And do it when, I always think, I'm using taxes as an example. If you do it in the winter when it's cold outside, or where you maybe need to be inside a little bit more, there's not as much activities. What an easier thing to do than wait until the summer when there's so many fun things and you want to get outside. It's just thinking, the power of thought. Put your thought into it a little bit. And sometimes the power of thought means that you really have to take a stand for what you know is going to make you feel better.
Right.
It may not feel the greatest right now, but in order to conquer that judgment that's been placed around whatever it is, sometimes you just got to conquer it. Face it, conquer it. And then it becomes so much easier in the future.
I have several friends that every year I hear them say, I'm going to get my taxes done this year in January. And they're still, I'm going to get my taxes done. This is in February. I'm hearing the same thing. I'm hearing the same thing in March. And then I'm hearing exactly when you come down to like the last week that they have.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, if you had just taken this in January like you were supposed to, look at all the energy that you've put out that you didn't need to have to. It's very amazing to me.
It really is. And when you think about all that energy could be channeled into doing something that you absolutely love to do.
Right.
Instead of waste months of channeling all that frustration. And just think, it's the power of thought. The more thought that you put towards frustration, you're going to get more of it.
Right. That's right. And I don't see why you go through that process of that. There could be some more really positive things you could be doing in that space of time. And I'm sure that if they say it that many times, it's probably on their mind every day.
Uh-huh.
And I don't get that. I don't get it. I mean, if you have a file drawer, what I do, I put all my stuff in one drawer for the month that comes in. At the last day of that month, and I take that drawer and I file it in all the files. And that's been pretty much of an easy thing for me to do my whole life. And if I need to have something, I know what drawer to go to, what file to go to. It's just so simple. I'm not tearing the place apart if I need to go, if I'm selling a car and I have to find a title for it. I mean, I'm not having to go down there and say, well, I've lost it or I've done this, I've done that. Mm-hmm. I know people that do that. Every time they go sell a car, they have to go get a lost title. And I'm thinking to myself, all you need is just one little file and put in their car and put the automobile insurance in there, your title in there, or whatever that it is. It's just very stressful.
It sounds simple, but then when that monkey brain gets in there, because I definitely understand. My desk, when I used to work at Ford, my desk was a wreck. it was papers everywhere, and my life was more in that type of mode for a while. And then finally, when I left the corporate area and started full time in the meditation practice, and opening myself up, I all of a sudden could no longer do that anymore. I had no room to continue on with the frustration or bring it in my life any longer than it was absolutely, that I was aware of it. When I was aware of it, I wanted to stop it because it just felt horrible to be in that mode. It's like the more present you become in your life, the more aware you are of all the things that are going on in the moment. And those types of frustrations, it's amazing how long they can get carried on for.
I know, it's just like...
Or stopped.
It's just like freedom, if there's something that's untidy that I might let it sit for one night, but the very next morning I'm doing what needs to be done to put it back in place. Because that whole energy of walking by the spot or just knowing that it's there, it just doesn't work for me at all. I mean, I like to have a clear mind, and it just never has worked that way. And it's hard for me to understand. I've always thought about cluttered table, cluttered mind, cluttered desk, cluttered mind. I mean, I think that the clarity comes when, and it really takes no more time to do that. As soon as you put it down, go put it back.
It's a new thought pattern, pattern.
Whole new pattern to it. And it's just like total freedom.
Why don't we put an intention out for everybody today, and a challenge? I feel in a challenge.
Let's do it.
Let's. It's time to challenge yourself to break an old habit. Just break it, And let's ask Archangel Michael and Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Michael, to help you cut any cords to the past frustrations in your life, things in your life that don't serve you anymore, any physical things that are. It's time to just cut the emotional cord to. Archangel Michael, please cut those cords right now. And let's bless all those things for the good that they brought into your life, and let's bless them and release them. And so it is.
And so it is.
And I ask Archangel Jophiel to come in and help each one of us beautify our thoughts, to find the peace within our own thoughts, to choose those thoughts which bring us peace, and to take action in our lives on those thoughts. To help us clear our minds of old clutter, and to infuse that beauty and love that can help get us on the right track right now. And so it is.
So it is.
And Archangel Jophiel, I would like to ask for you to be a part of each person's life that's listening to this show. And all you just have to do is open your heart to this, whoever's listening, to go out and assist each one of our listeners with bringing peace into some area of their life, beauty, balance, love, order, in some area which has been craving and calling out for a new order, a new peace, a new love. And you all out there, please open your hearts to receiving this help, and it is done. So it is.
And so it is.
The angels are such amazing helpers in all of these arenas, giving us guidance, thoughts, feelings, help with reorganizing our lives to be in alignment with our highest path and purpose, and our chart that we wrote before we came in here.
That's right.
Which to me is our highest path and purpose.
It is. It's already been okay. To say it. That's right. That's right. It helps us stay on track with it. That's for sure. That is for sure. The angels are great helpers for all of us, and it's amazing to me of certain people that I talk with on a daily basis that just have never even tapped in to that energy field. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage that anybody that has never done that, it's not a fearful thing, it's a living thing. And they will just absolutely, all you have to do is just ask, as Michael said. And it will flow in total love, total peace, clear your thoughts, and get your life in total order for happiness and joy and grace and all that you need in this world to be able to make it a better place.
And you're worth it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely worth total and complete peace from the inside out. That peace is always an inside out kind of thing.
And it's never too late. It's always, it makes no difference where you are in your life. It's all in the thought pattern of changing it. It's never too late. We just had a conversation today with a person that it's very important for people to think that they have not thrown their lives away. That at any second of their life they can change it. It changes everything. Changes everything.
And each one of those experiences, no matter how traumatic or whatever, it can just strengthen you.
It's total lessons. It's lessons to build on. Mm-hmm. It's the lessons for your life. And the angels are very much in the energy of keeping you on that track. All you need to do is open up to them. Mm-hmm.
So today being International Angel Day, we're just excited to just extend with our intentions the wings and the love of the angels to all of you all today, and just open your hearts to allow them in to your life. All you have to do is go sit on your couch, go find it, or lay on your bed, go find a nice place to meditate, and just sit with the intention of asking your angels to come on in. Ask to meet your guardian angel. Ask for Archangel Michael or Jophiel or any ones that you may be particularly attuned to or feel guided to call in, to call them in. Mm-hmm. Or ask what angel's working with me right now, and just listen to what you hear or what you feel or what thoughts maybe come into your head. And you may hear the name.
That's right. It's opening it up and being very open to it.
And if you don't hear it,
it's okay too.
Yeah. You may hear it next week.
But you will feel it. If you really open up yourself to it, your feelings will feel that there is absolutely the energetic energy there. You will feel it. You don't have to say anything. You can just sit there and you can feel it coming into you.
They're tickling my neck right now.
No. I've been going against Raphael the whole time I've been sitting here with you.
Well,
Raphael
honey,
definitely wants to say healing. Total healing for all the hearts, all the minds, all the souls. Total healing. All of everything we've talked about with your homes, with your minds, and anything is total healing for you. And Raphael is sending the energy out to all that's listening to this show.
Just open your hearts.
For total, you'll feel the green light to go in for total clarity if you just allow it to be.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
And thank you, Raphael.
Today we've worked with the blue light of Archangel Michael, the green light of Archangel Raphael, and the kind of magenta, kind of, what's the word, fuchsia. It's kind of a bright reddish pinky color of Jophiel.
That's happy energy. Happy energy. It is that.
Beautification.
It is that.
La la la. We were feeling real crazy tonight, haven't we?
We've been feeling real crazy all day today. It's been a pretty amazing day all the way around. And the next topic we will speak about, because we definitely want to talk and praise the angels tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But the next topic will be what actually happened with us today. We will leave you on the edge of your seats to know that the next time that we're on this air, we're going to tell you about the magnificent thing that happened today. And so you can just hold on to it, because it's going to be some exciting news.
Well, alrighty then. I think it's about time to call it a day.
I think it's probably about that time as well, Michael.
Alrighty, well, thanks for listening, you all. Call on your angels, and they are there immediately.
What a blessed day, and thank you, angels, for being here with us in the studio. I've recognized the lights that's flashing over our head when we're talking about you, so that is totally blessings. And thank you so much for helping all.
So it is.
And so it is.
Lots of love, you all. Talk to you soon.